Hey everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be building an apartment building and a pizzeria for the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. If you want to see me making those characters, please check out my last video. And today I'm building on a 40 by 30 lot in Tomarang. And I think I might do shells first. And I'm going to start with the pizzeria right here. So we're going to start here by making the shell for that area. I wonder actually if we bring this in a little maybe. Okay, wait, let's do this. And then back here is the console room. And then there is a room right here near the bathrooms. And it looks like another room right here that has a hallway. Okay, so here's our loose first floor for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Okay, this looks nice. And then I do just want to add maybe a platform on top. I was gonna say let's roof first, but I think we're just platform roofing, so that's easy. All right, so this will be our shell for the pizzeria. And then we should have room over here for the apartments. I kind of am wanting like a little bit more run down apartment kind of look. There needs to be a small like check-in area. And then I think here could be our first set of stairs. And then let's say there's like a central hallway. And they're not gonna have very big apartments. And I might make their unit come back a little bit because I do want the balcony to be here. Actually, I think we scrap all that. It's like not giving what I want it to give. I'm changing my mind. Let's just do a big old space. I do want a deck for each of them, like a little one. Okay, maybe here will be their units. And then we'll put in both stairs and an elevator. Maybe we'll do more lots here and like amenities here. Okay, the stairs are there. Maybe we put the elevator here and the check-in desk. And then we go in with the same floor plan. And then we're gonna do one more floor. It's gonna look the exact same. I hate that apartments oftentimes just end up looking like squares, but I also think that's pretty true to how apartments look. I'm gonna try to add like a fire escape to like add some dimension. Also, this isn't gonna be the fence we go with, but just so I can get these balconies like conceptualized in my head, I feel like this is helpful. But I'm not going for like aesthetics right now. I'm solely going for function. And then honestly, I think we're also going to do platform roofing on the apartment building. And just like that, like super, super basic. Okay, so now we have our loose shells. I kind of want to build the apartment first. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but please bear with me. The first thing I actually do want to do is replace these stairs, maybe with something a little bit more like rickety. I love these get to work ones. Yeah, that looks a lot more like fire escapey, I think. And then same thing with these fences. I think I'm gonna go for like a brick building, but I want kind of like a black rickety fence if possible. I do foresee there being a lot of werewolves used in this build. Okay, wait, that looks really cool. And then let's get some painting on the exterior. I definitely want an old looking brick. Maybe we'll just do this. And then for a roof, we need to get a platform trim like that up there. I think that looks nice. Also, I haven't changed anything, but I did go off and move us to Moonwood Mill, the world that comes with werewolves. I just think it's a lot more like fitting. We'll do this, and then I'm gonna run in off camera and add doors and windows to the apartment building. Here is our exterior for the apartment building. All right, so let's go in and get a desk. I do think maybe in here is where we can use that more like decrepit life and death wallpaper. And I think maybe like some tacky carpet like this, maybe like the person who created these apartments thought looked good a long time ago. Or even like the waves look kind of cool. So then let's put a check-in desk in there. I keep saying check-in like it's a hotel, but I mean just like the front desk right here so that there could be somebody working in the office. And honestly, that's like pretty much all this room is for. So I'm going to go in and add a little tiny bit of clutter. All right, and then with clutter, here's how our little leasing office and elevator area turned out. Just added like some creepy elements over there, a little worn down rug. And with this complete, we'll move over to our little staircase area. Honestly, I'll throw this together right now for all 3 floors. It's going to look the exact same and it's not going to be very exciting. Okay, so now we're going into our units. They all are the exact same. And I think let's do our first unit for Freddy himself. So I say we go in and do bedroom first. And for Freddy, we are going to stay in the brown color scheme. but I'm kind of thinking something like cozy, because he's still a bear, like maybe this one here, and maybe he has it in the corner there, and then we'll do a dresser. I think I want to extend my color options. Let's go light brown and white. Maybe Freddy wants like this eco lifestyle one. And then for a mirror, I almost think we put one on the wall, like maybe even just there above the dresser. And maybe I'll put a TV over here, especially because I don't know what the living room situation is going to look like out there. And actually, I think maybe we put a TV stand down and then put a TV on top of it. Okay, yeah, and then I think this is all that'll be in our loose bedroom. I'll go in quick and clutter it up.
Okay, and then with clutter, this is how the bedroom turned out. I gave him the microphone for a singing skill, and then just did some minimal cluttering. It is an apartment, so I didn't want to go super crazy. I threw the bear right there, obviously because he's a bear. And then out on his patio, I just threw like a little chair. Like he tried to class it up a little bit, but it didn't really like work. So then we can move on to Freddy's kitchen, living, and dining. And with the kitchen, I really want to be intentional with placing it because since this is one cohesive apartment building, I do want at least the kitchen to be in the same spot because it would be in a traditional apartment building. I feel like for Freddy, I'm kind of feeling these like traditional looking ones. Like I think just a small kitchen like this. I know most apartments don't have really big kitchens. And then honestly, I feel like we give, it's more orange than I would want, but I kind of like the used fridge for Freddy. Maybe we'll give Freddy this older looking fridge and then we'll get our stove. Honestly, maybe I'll just do this one. I think that's okay. And then let's throw in some cabinets for him. And then I think I actually want to do like the little living room area next and then fit dining in wherever we can. So for living room, I think we throw a TV up on this wall and get maybe just this like really basic brown love seat here. As far as a table goes, I have to be careful because this is also our door. But this coffee table that's a little bit like dilapidated might be kind of fun there. And maybe he got like a light coffee table to kind of switch things up a little bit. Okay, so I'm torn between like a dining area and an island. I actually think we might be able to fit both. I think though I kind of want a light brown table just to kind of tie in the coffee table. Like this Snowy Escape one is a pretty similar color. Alright, and then dining chairs, I want to be pretty basic. Okay, wait, what if Freddy has like metal chairs? No, I still think that's like too much. We'll do this eco lifestyle like fabricated one. The thing is I want like a darker brown. Let's do these actually from Get Together. And then I do think we have room for a small island. I'm going to replace the counters with the ones that match the cabinets. And for an island, I say we just do like 2 pieces out like that. So there's still room back here. And that will be our loose kitchen, living, and dining. I thought I'd do it all together just because it is all in one like tiny room. So then I'll go in off camera and add the clutter to this area. Alright, and then with clutter, here is our finished kitchen, our little dining area, and our living room. I didn't want to add too much clutter, make it excessive, but just enough to show that somebody lives there. And then I did add a little record player and some nectar in the back here. So then I'll run off screen and put together a bathroom. Alright, and then all put together, here is our bathroom for Freddy. And I think I'm going to do that thing they do in a lot of apartment buildings where the toilet's back here in its own little like archway. And with that completed, that is our entire apartment for Freddy Fazbear. So we're gonna move across the way to Bonnie. So we'll go in first with the bed, obviously. And obviously for Bonnie, we're gonna go purple. And I'm gonna try to put it in a different place than Freddy's, just because I do want things to be a little bit different. I kind of like this bed, or honestly maybe this one. Okay, let's do this, and then can I pull another light over here? I actually think that looks totally fine there. He doesn't have an end table, but that's alright. We'll get a dresser next, and our purple options for like anything are just so limited. I'm tempted to do the chest because there is this red one, but he also has the red bow tie on. Yeah, let's just do it. And then we'll get a mirror in here. Let's give Bonnie the high school years one, honestly. Alright, and then we also want a desk. I did give Freddy one. I think this little nook here is going to be like perfect for it. I'm thinking just maybe something like this for Bonnie. And then I gave Freddy a TV. I would kind of also like to give Bonnie a TV so he can like lay on his bed sideways and watch it. I think that's fine. And then I really want Bonnie to have guitars. Alright, so he's got his little collection of guitars there. And we do have the basics in this room already, so I'm going to go in off camera and add the clutter. All right, and then with clutter and a lighting change, here is what we landed on for Bonnie's room. It's very music focused. I tried to make it kind of fun and just added a little bookshelf over there, and then just added a chair over on Bonnie's porch for him to sit on as well. So with that completed, we will move into Bonnie's kitchen, living, dining. All right, so we're gonna put the kitchen in the same spot as Freddy's, and we'll just do, those are almost too nice. Let's do the used Blandco ones, actually. Okay, so same kind of vibe over here, and then we'll get a fridge. Okay, and here we can do the used fridge. I love it. It looks like garbage in there. We can go in and get our cabinets here, and we have the used cabinets as well. I love that. All right, so then we've got that kind of for Bonnie, and then I might actually want to do the living room here for Bonnie just to mix it up a little bit. And then let's definitely do a purple love seat. What if we give him the same one? It's like the wrong purple though. Like this is maybe more the purple I'm going for. And then for a coffee table, maybe just this like little casual one. And then over here we'll do our dining area. And I don't want a very big one. Maybe just something like this for Bonnie. It's pretty similar to Freddy's actually. But then my hope is we can get purple chairs that like match this couch a little bit more. Maybe we do this. And should we give him all 4 just to like make it a little bit different than Freddy's setup? Let's have all 4 and do it kind of back in that corner. All right, so with this all done, I will go in and clutter up this area. All right, and then here with clutter and lighting changes is Bonnie's final kitchen, living, and dining. I did end up using those fancier bar stools, which I didn't really want to, but I did want to tie in that purple aspect. So my thought is maybe that's something that Bonnie splurged on a little bit. And yeah, overall, this is how it turned out. I also wanted to point out I added a little bit of staining in his bedroom, as well as added some cracks and staining to Freddy's room and to Freddy's kitchen, living, and dining area. Also, as a nod to Freddy, I put the pizza making stuff over in his kitchen. So then I'll run off screen quick and throw together Bonnie's bathroom. And with the bathroom complete, we have finished up the apartment for Bonnie. Also, I just realized that if I was truly making these the same, this corner kitchen would have been in this corner here, but maybe Bonnie's really into construction and he dismantled all the counters and put them over here himself. So that's going to be canon now. So now we'll go up a floor and start making this bedroom for the puppet. Let's get a bed first and foremost. So for the puppet, I'm kind of torn because like something like this could be kind of fun. Ooh, actually, I think I'm going to go with this one. And then maybe we get white end tables. Let's go in next with a dresser. And I think we maybe want to do a taller one. Like this white one fits pretty nicely just right in the corner. Actually, I might move it right here. We'll put a mirror in. Maybe we do a wall mirror, honestly. Like I don't hate this big Love Struck one. All right, and then what I think I want to do is put a TV over on this wall. And then we'll put our desk back here. And maybe we just do this kind of practical one for Puppet. Ooh, or what about this one? Yeah, I like that, right against the window there. All right, and then I think because there is like a TV here and no real way to watch it, I do just want to throw in like one living chair, even just the poofs here. All right, and so with our loose bedroom together, I will go in off camera and clutter it up. And all cluttered up, here is the Puppet's bedroom. It's mostly black and white, but there are a few moments of like beige in there for accents and things like that. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. So moving on, we'll come into her kitchen, living, and dining room area. Okay, and like Freddy's, I want to put Puppet's kitchen over here in this corner. And I think I want to give the Puppet white counters because we did black for Bonnie. Actually, maybe we'll do these vampire ones because they are both. All right, and then for fridge, I think we stay white. I don't want to rock the boat too much here, but we can use the used white fridge. And then we can use the used white oven. I love that. That looks terrible. And then, ooh, we do have vampire cabinets. That's amazing. So we'll do that kind of the same way we've been doing all of our cabinets. And what if Puppet is trying to move their space around a little bit? Maybe we give Puppet this like little kitschy love seat and we'll put it there so that there's there's room to get out. Although if we put it in the center, there should still be walking room. Yeah, there is. So maybe we'll do that there. And then maybe Puppet has a taller table here for the TV to go on. That's kind of fun. And then let's do a white table. This one's black and white, and it's just made out of wood. Maybe Puppet has it right here. So then this will be our loose layout for Puppet. The feng shui of this room is like definitely off, but I think Puppet's definitely off, so I'm all right with it. And I'll go in and add the clutter. All right, and then cluttered up, here is living room, dining room, and kitchen for the Puppet. I did forget to put a plant or a centerpiece on the dining table, so I'll do that in a second here. But yeah, overall, this is the vibe we got. I threw down a meditation stool for a skill item. We'll pop that plant in there. And with living, kitchen, and dining done, we will move over to the bathroom for the Puppet. All right, and then all cluttered up, here is the bathroom for Puppet, and it looks pretty much just like all of the other bathrooms, nothing super crazy. And then that will be our completed apartment for the Puppet. And then I'm just getting our little bits of staining and everything in here. And then we'll move over here to Chica's room. I'm really excited to do Chica's room, actually. I kind of am obsessed with this bed for Chica. We'll give Chica this bed, and she'll have room for an end table. I'm thinking like this bright neon Y2K kind of energy for her, like maybe this end table, or actually to even like lean into the arcade aspect a little bit more, maybe this end table. All right, and let's find Chica a dresser. What about even just like this tall pink one for Chica? We'll give her this mirror, and then let's get her a TV just hanging out right there. And I feel like we can put her desk here in between the closet and the mirror, so let's do that. And then for an activity or a skill item, I really want to give Chica an easel. We will just throw an easel there for her. And then I'll go in off camera and add the clutter to this room. All right, and with clutter and lighting, here is Chica's final room. I think this room turned out really cute. I tried to add a little bit more like rough and scruff to this one just to offset like the cutesy aesthetic, and I think it turned out pretty cute. And then on her balcony, I threw out 2 of the fun chairs for people to sit on. And I forgot to mention on Puppet's balcony, I just put a bird bath out there. So now we can move into Chica's kitchen, living, and dining. I'm interested to see what we do for counters here. Like our yellow and pink options are kind of limited in The Sims. Okay, actually, I think we can do these. All right, so we have counters in. I almost want to do like the pink fridge and oven, but have them be like the old beat up ones. Yeah, like those go together, and I think they're kind of cute. Or do they throw things off? Like, should they also be yellow? Whoa! This looks terrible once I put it in there. That's awesome. Okay, well, let's for sure do that then, especially because the counters look pretty nice. And then we'll get cabinets. But you know what? I might replace Freddy's stuff with the light brown unsalvaged fridge, like there. So then he has the light brown kind of dirty furniture in there. All right, and that way nobody has a completely nice kitchen. So we'll do this for Chica. And then I think actually, speaking of Freddy, I'm gonna give her kind of a similar layout. I'm gonna give her this TV, and then for a pink or yellow couch, it'd be cool if we could find one that was both. So we can do this one for Chica. I don't know. I feel like the little love seat was better. And then we'll do our island there. Let's get bar stools. I think just like these cheapy little pink ones are cute. And where do we want to fit our dining table? Because part of me thinks we could do it here or here. Let's do it back here next to the kitchen maybe. And let's just do this plain like pink table. And Chica's just got some yellow folding chairs. She's doing her best. Wait, I actually don't hate it like that. Okay, and so with this part loosely completed, I'll go in and add clutter in here for Chica. All right, then all cluttered up, here we have the kitchen, the little dining area, and the living room area for Chica. I tried to put a few references to food up there, emphasize the gluttony aspect of her. And yeah, I really like how this came out. And so with Chica's kitchen, living, and dining done, I will move off screen and throw together her bathroom. All right, and then all put together, here is our bathroom for Chica. Very similar to all of the other bathrooms. With Chica and the puppets areas done, let's go up to our last floor, which will be for Springtrap and Foxy. So let's go in first and do Springtrap's bedroom. I'm actually kind of really excited to make this bedroom because I want it to just be like nasty. So I'm filtering by yellow, green, and gray to hopefully get what I can. Dirty double. This might be perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then for for a dresser, this one says Weathered Wonder. Let's use that. That's actually kind of perfect. Let's put the TV on the other end of the room. And then we need a desk. Werewolves, I would guess, is gonna come in clutch. This one's made out of a door. Is that like a little bit too run down? Like this one's makeshift as heck. Honestly, I like it. Let's just roll with it. Let's really lean into like the dirtiness of this room. We can get just a basic old chair. Actually, I think it could be kind of funny if we gave Springtrap like a really like luxurious gaming chair. Like that's where he chose to spend his money. And then for a skill item for Springtrap, I'm not quite sure what skill item to give him. Honestly, maybe he just has like the pottery wheel and like a chair for that. I mean, whatever. I could see him maybe doing pottery. That's not bad. He can make all of his own stuff. All right, so with this very, very basic room completed, I'll go in and clutter it up. Okay, so here with clutter and lighting is Springtrap's room. And I just made this room like dingy. Like I tried to use anything that looked used, that looked worn. He's got the pottery wheel in there, which I think is kind of random, but I didn't want to give him like the cross stitching box. I feel like that didn't make sense for him. We got his beaten up bed, and yeah, just everything looks a little worn, which was definitely the goal. So now we can move into his kitchen, living, and dining. Oh, and I'll throw those curtains from Werewolves in there too. So moving over here. Okay, for counters, we're gonna just make whatever color scheme work because I know we're using the bland co-used ones. Oh, also I should show that I added just like some plants and some like garbage outside here. And I know Springtrap's not necessarily known for being like dirty, but I want to give off the vibe that like, well, one, he's evil, but two, that he's so evil that like it takes over everything. Like that's all he has time to do. Let's get the mega used fridge in here. Let's get the used oven in here. And then we'll go in and get our cabinets. We do have the used ones, which is great. I love this. I think it's looking so grimy right now. And then honestly, I don't know. I feel like this apartment naturally like gives the aesthetic of the living room being here and dining room being back here. So what if we didn't do that and we gave him like an older looking TV? That looks so dumb. Like he clearly doesn't do that. So I think we're going to be repetitive and put it over here. And then we can get a couch. The cheapest ones we have are like logs, which isn't exactly what I want. And I don't want to use the modular. They do have kind of like a more just dingy colored one of these sofas. So I think we'll go with that. And then maybe we do put our kitchenette in the side here just to make it a little bit different than like Chica's that we just did. This one's great. It's all kinds of different woods. I think that's perfect for Springtrap. And let's see, we still have room to get through everywhere. Yep. Okay, perfect. So I think this is going to be our loose kitchen, living, and dining for Springtrap. And then I'll go in and add the clutter. All right, and then with clutter and lighting, here is Springtrap's kitchen. And then I gave him like a little music area, I guess, the little living room, and then over to the dining area. And overall, I think this room looks pretty bad, which is lovely. Like that's exactly what I wanted this room to look like. So yeah, I'm very content with it. I'm kind of sad that like this area almost looks a little grandma-y. So my hope was that the pictures of the Reaper like offset some of that. And then I'll run in off camera and do the bathroom. All right, and so then here is Springtrap's final bathroom. And so altogether, I don't think I've ever made a build this like dingy. I'm really happy with it, actually. We're gonna move over to our last bedroom, and that's gonna be for Foxy. Like, I honestly don't mind like kind of a casual bed like that. I think that could work for Foxy. And on his porch, we just have like a little grill and a table for him to put food on. Let's actually put his bed here. And then maybe we do a dresser next to him like instead of a night table. What if we did like this grayish one? And then we need a mirror. And with Foxy, I wonder if we do one of these like jungle adventure ones maybe, because I feel like that kind of has a pirate aesthetic to it. And then let's get a desk. And I feel like this one maybe for Foxy. Ooh, what about even in the red? And then we'll make his TV over here as well. All right, and with Foxy's loose bedroom done, I'll go in and add the clutter. All right, and then with clutter and lighting, here is Foxy's room. And I think this actually came together pretty nicely. I tried to get a little bit of like pirate vibes in there without being too over the top with it. I threw in a punching bag for a skill item. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. So now we can move over to Foxy's kitchen, living, and dining. All right, and then let's get counters for Foxy. And then between red, orange, and gray, we do have kind of this beat up like gray blue looking skin color. Okay, and then for fridge and oven, let's do hopefully one that's kind of beat up. We do have the red one that's a little bit beat up. And then I think we go in and put in our cabinets. Okay, so yeah, we've got that together. It kind of looks like trash, which is what we want. And then I really like this table. I feel like it's piratey. And maybe he has like Chica where it's back like that. And then we can do our living room in this same area we usually do it in. So let's get a TV. And then obviously we're gonna go red here and stick with that theme that we're kind of doing in here. Do we do this and kind of stick with that like tattered look? I kind of like that in there. All right, and then with all that done, I will go in and add clutter to this area. All right, and then with clutter and lighting, here is our final living room, dining room, and kitchen for Foxy. I actually really like the aesthetic of this area, and I gave him the rug with the bite out of it, just to allude to that part of the lore, a little record player, and yeah. And with that part completed, we will move over here to the bathroom that I already threw this pirate-looking bathtub in. So I'll go off camera and finish it. Alright, and here is Foxy's bathroom, all completed. And with Foxy's whole apartment done, we can move on to the amenity areas. Down here, we just did a few vending machines right at the beginning. And then down here on this middle floor, maybe we just have a few like massage chairs, and that can be like maybe what this apartment calls their spa. And then you go upstairs one more, and I feel like apartments always try to advertise having like a gym of some type, but I do want this to be a pretty like low effort gym. All right, yeah, so maybe they can come up and there are like some lockers maybe, and then just some like ragtag equipment there. All right, yeah, so this is like the little gym area. And so with the gym, Foxy and Springtrap's apartment, Chica's apartment, Puppet's apartment, our massage chair area, and then down here the vending machines, leasing desk area, and then Freddy and Bonnie's apartments. Then we will have finished the first part of this video, that is the apartment building. And here is how it ended up looking at the very end of it, some trash back there. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Well, not really nice, but that's what I wanted. And actually this video is getting pretty long, so I think I'm going to finish Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in a part 2 that I'll try to have out within the week for you guys. So if you like this video, please feel free to give it a like or a comment and subscribe to see the next part of this video where I do create Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.